Hi there, Aquarius. Thanks so much for tuning in to what can only be called quite the week. As we stand, we have Venus out of phase in Pisces, your second house of self-esteem and self-worth. We have Jupiter out of phase in Libra, your fellow air sign, and your ninth house of overseas travel and higher education. Midweek, we have Saturn going out of phase in your 11th house of hopes, dreams, wishes, and friendship. And then over the weekend, Mercury, that old pesky devil, goes out of phase or retrograde for 3 weeks. So by the end of the week, there are 4 major players out of phase or retrograde, which, not the best scenario we could hope for. There's a restless face-off on Friday, April 7, when Jupiter in Libra sits opposite the Sun in Aries. This restless face-off occurs once a year and brings with it a general feeling of optimism. So that's something to look forward to. Depending on where Jupiter is in your chart. Now, do you know where Jupiter is in your chart? It's important, even though you may feel like, what does that matter? I need to know my rising. I need to know my moon. You need to know everything because everything has its little job to do. And so if you don't have your natal chart, don't hesitate to order one on my website at www.astrogirl.com.au. A dark cloud is on the horizon on Saturday, April 8, when Venus makes the second of 4 squares with Saturn. Although Venus is still in Pisces, the difference between this square and the first one in January is that Venus is retrograde now. She has been for some time. And unfortunately, Venus retrograde in a square with Saturn retrograde is a double negative for love and self-esteem, and also not a good sign for money. More storms are on the way later on Saturday when the Aries sun squares off with Pluto. That's when your desires can clash with bigger circumstances, and you can and will get mixed up in an intense power struggle unless you're very careful. And just to throw a little more salt on the wound, Mercury, the communicator, decides to go out of phase this weekend. So that brings us up to 4 planets out of phase or retrograde by the end of the week. More on that next week, but suffice to say, this is really one of those weeks where you are going to ask yourself time and time again, why did I get up? Why didn't I call in sick? I am sick. Those weeks where you're like, I just don't like anything and I don't like anybody. You'll figure it out. If anyone can figure it out, it's you, Aquarius. Thanks so much.